Welcome back to the homestead. All right, it's early, but it is a beautiful morning. I just woke up, so I kind of look like Chunk off of Goonies. I don't know. We just throw on a beanie, do the best we can. So I'm off to do chores, which is, let's see, cow, then the goats, then the rabbits, then the chickens, and then water the greenhouse. That's the morning routine. It actually does not take very long, you know? Oh, but first of all, can you hear this? Hear water falling into the catchment? Music to my ears, baby. I just stained my water back up. How do they look? Say phenomenal. If you like the way they look, like and subscribe. Here, let me show you another one. So I wanted to just have a discussion with you today on, well, why do we do this? Why do we wake up when I am not a morning person? I flippin' hate mornings with my whole heart and soul. Hate them. Hate them. Except for when you're out here. It's actually beautiful when you're out here, but I hate waking up because I stay up all night on the deep, dark web, you know, getting things that freak me out. Just kidding. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it to be aware, to watch, because you're supposed to watch and be prepared. A lot of people forget the watch because it's scary. So I stay up late and then I have to wake up and do the animal chores. Why do we do it? So sorry, I think I came over here to show you the other water catchment. It's just a 550 gallon water catchment barrel that I wrapped with redwood and put a band over it so it looks like some old school barrel. Amazing. Something else that I did here. This is actually kind of cool. So I just do like a water clean out like you'd see on an RV. Can you see that? Ask me to do a water video one time and I will. So that just catches the sediment from here to here to here, overflows, and then into the barrel. I thought it was genius. So there you go. Took me a while to think of that, and you get it in 20 seconds. Because why do we worry about water storage? Why do we have animals? Why are we worried right now about milk supply? You guys are following that, right? I mean, that story is just getting more and more weird as they say now there's 20% of store-bought milk that they're finding H1N1 in it. Okay, well, that's just a little bit scary because we know what governments do. When they try to come and fix a problem, they exasperate the problem. So be prepared, brace accordingly, right? So yeah, Becca got an impulse that we needed to increase our milk solutions from the Jerseys and even bring in some milk goats. And you know what? Now it's looking like a pretty smart idea. But why do we do it? You know, so right now we have, we just had Secretary Blinken. He just went over and talked to President Xi. And so we don't even need to worry because again, these guys are going to fix the problem. We're not going to have any kind of a pop off with China and Taiwan because Blinken went over and talked to Xi. So we're good, right? So I don't need to feed the animals. In fact, maybe I should just do a fire sale. Hey, here at the homestead, we're going to sell all of our preps. You know, we were just getting a little uptight, just a little, we weren't thinking positively, you know? So we're going to sell everything because Blinken just went and talked to Xi. All is well. So that's the kind of thinking that actually drives me nuts. Do you realize when we went to, well, we didn't go to war. We got drug into World War II. Remember, there were some planes flying over from Germany, and then they used those planes and they just started bombing Pearl Harbor with them. Kamikaze, baby. Remember that? Do you realize that we were in peace talks with Japan when that happened? All was well then, too. Same thing. So why do we do this? Why do we wake up and look like Chunk and make a video trying to tell others to prepare? You know, life is extremely good. Life is good. I actually do not live in fear. I live aware, and I live, you know, kind of a random weird life, prepping. I have backyard rabbits. You know, it's funny, one of the people that did a video of the homestead from Colorado, such a stud. Stefano Creatini. You got to look up his channel. It's such a legitimate, wonderful channel about regenerative growing. I can't even say that word. It's too early. And so I was reading some of his Instagram messages about some of the promotional videos he did on his video of me, and people were just freaking out about meat rabbits. and they should do chickens. I love everything but rabbits, you know, just like how awful that was. And I get it. I do understand that rabbits are cute. And all of these rabbits right here in this section are the ones that are going to they're going to be made into protein. That's tough. We could have that conversation right now. If you get it, put it in the comments. And if you don't get it, put it in the comments. Either way, you help my algorithm. But, you know, unless you're a true vegetarian, you have no argument. You don't, you lose. Because, I mean, I go to Chick-fil-A all the time, you know, and for some people, for my daughter, Keisha, my little 4-year-old, chickens are more of a pet than rabbits to her. It's all perspective. So why do we have chickens? Why do we even worry about egg production? You go to the store, it's more expensive to raise your own backyard chickens. That is a true statement, normally. Look at that. These girls are laying on some eggs. Remember during the egg crisis? Well, we had shortages of everything. It wasn't just toilet paper. So the egg crisis got vamped up because they were having issues with different flocks. And then all of a sudden eggs went up to, weren't they into, I know some of them were in the $7 range. Put in the comments how high your eggs got. So sometimes you couldn't find eggs, one, and the other times, who can afford $7 eggs? So during that little blurb at the Homestead, it was not a big deal. It changed nothing for us. Why do we do a homestead? So the answer of what your homestead should look like is definitely not what mine looks like. Because as you get started, you are going to have some fantastic ideas. And as you start acting on those ideas, you're just going to get more ideas. And it's going to be beautiful. I would say some of my most tender inspiration has come from physical prepping that I do. I feel like I've been pretty led. I feel like I'm actually, hello Tico, this is Tiankum. He is the golden warrior and he makes amazing golden doodles. So if you have a puppy that needs to make golden doodles, call my boys because it's their business, not mine. I don't get any money from it. And $500 for kids is a lot of money. Okay, look at my little air inputs for the greenhouse. I just stained them right in time for the storm because that's how inspired we are. And look at the orchard, by the way. Why do we plant fruit trees? You don't need to buy a fruit tree. Just go to the store and buy fruit. That's where the fruit comes from, is from the store. No, it doesn't, baby. It comes from my fruit trees. Last year, we had so much fruit that went to the freeze dryer, and it was the best feeling in the world. We were so busy at harvest time, so busy. And I mean, it wasn't a prompting, it was more like a chastisement that I had to treat every single flippin' fruit with like, almost like sacredness and go and harvest it. And so that freeze dryer was non-stop. So that's what we did last year. You see all these blossoms? Just amazing. I'm getting a little weird, aren't I? Put in the comments if looking at blossoms is weird or if that's flipping cool. Because you know that blossom, once pollinated, becomes a piece of fruit, which becomes something I can feed my family with. And most of you are saying, duh, but actually most of you get it. I think we have a massive problem in society where people do not know where their food comes from. Why do we homestead? I'm trying to thread the needle here. So my hope with anything on this channel is that maybe you're a little bit motivated to watch a little bit and be aware of the awful situation around us so that you will also be aware that danger is ahead, but there's so much things that we can do right now to mitigate it. Mitigation is a big word. It's a banker word. It's just a word that you can lessen. You can have a soft landing, that you don't have to be a product of government stupidity. You can actually be motivated proactively. you can survey the dangers, and then you can find a way to keep yourself and your family safe. Look at this. Okay, again, why? I was reading some other comments on Stefano's Instagram. Most people were kind, don't get me wrong. They say never read the negative comments. Bull crap. I'm going to read the negative comments and have fun with it. Oh my word, that thing looked like it was so expensive. Yeah, it was. And you know what I did? I sold one of my rental properties and I paid for it. Now, everybody can't afford that. That's not what I'm saying. I get it. Right now, with the cost of inflation, the likelihood that a lot of people watching my channel is going to build a greenhouse is so small. That's why this channel is not about a greenhouse. I think that so many people could build smaller hoop houses and also just simply get started in their backyard with gardening. So that's mainly the impulse of what I'm trying to say here. But a lot of people are looking to build a greenhouse. So let's say that you have the means to do so. You've been wanting to for years. I as a banker, I get people all the time, what should I do with my money? What should I do with my money? And one thing that I have done with the money that I'm trying to earn in my life is I'm trying to turn my money into hard assets. It's really a way to curb inflation. So as inflation gets ugly, if I've turned my money into hard goods and assets, I could be sitting on some money right here with the sale of my Nauvoo property. And even though I loved that 1847 red brick Joseph era historic home, it was amazing. And it was performing so well as a vacation rental because it was so rare that a historic building like that was not owned by the church. It was owned by me. And I love old history like that. But I haven't missed it once because I know it was right. Why do we do it? Well, again, there's so much going around that we need to mitigate for. So I am going to do some regular greenhouse videos. I just wanted to come in here while I was on my rant and check this out. So these ones haven't re-blossomed, so we probably need to start eating them. And I think we've eaten about 15. And these are tangelos, by the way. Oh, and I have never shared with you the news. So in our greenhouse, we're almost 2 years inside of the Manti greenhouse without the need of fans and heaters. So I hooked electricity up so I can turn lights on. We actually don't really come out here too much at night. I don't know why, we're just too busy, but it looks really cool with the yard lights on. I have backups where I actually put in a propane line and propane heaters. Well, they're in the garage. I didn't even hook them up this year because we don't use them. But I do have a backup. Why do you have a backup? That's a lot of work for a backup. Well, yeah, because let's say we get some random event where we don't have sun for a month. In the winter times it seems like for the 2 winters that we've been here, we've had a 10-day span each winter where there's hardly been any sun, and that's when it's been the coldest time. The greenhouse has been able to make it. But let's say it's worse. Let's say it's 2 weeks. If I have to turn on my propane heater, so be it. So far we haven't, though. Okay, so let me show you this. This is very exciting. My voice just cracked because it's morning time. Do you see what that is? That right there, my friends, is an avocado. And they're all over. Holy crap. Look at that. Look at that. Sorry. For those of you in these wonderful climates, you're saying, so what? I'm in Utah. Growing your own avocados is a big deal. Okay, a bigger deal, though, than oranges and avocados, in my opinion, this year, is getting my onions and my potatoes. That's the thing the greenhouse is fun. The greenhouse does a lot of wonderful things for our preps. Grateful for it. If you want to know how we built it, go up to playlist and you will see 2 different greenhouse playlists. 1 on how we built it, 2 on just greenhouse updates. Fine. But this year, I feel very, very strongly that I've got to nerd out on my onion growth, tomato growth, and potato growth. Old school Utah harvest, baby. And that's what we're going to do. So I have been interviewing an old timer. He brought us onions and they were the most massive onions ever. And I'm like, How did you do that? My onion production is horrible. Oh, it's easy. Old timers always say that. Have you noticed that? They have all these skills and they act like it's no big deal. They make it look easy. I would suggest to you, one, if you're an old timer, you've got knowledge. You might not be gardening anymore. You go share that with the younger folk. And if you're the younger folk, I guess I'm not young anymore. If you're like the mid old folk like me, you go talk to some of those old timers who know how to garden. Go learn their skills. Learn them and do it this year. So I'm going to share with you some of the things I'm learning from this gentleman, and because we're going to start our garden maybe even today. Once we get back, we got an appointment this morning that the family's going to do baptisms, and then when we're done, we might start it. So you might have another video coming up. But if you're interested in that, say, hey, I want to know the old timer's tricks. Or if you are that old timer, or even the young successful gardener and you have tricks, put it in the comments. Let's make this a forum of doing stuff. So I would encourage you this year. I hope I've threaded the needle. This is a good year to act. Start small. Start however you can. If you thought about maybe not doing a garden because it's so much work, do it anyway. Find a way. I know the starts and the seeds are expensive. This is not the year to not do it. Get her done. Thanks for watching the video. Hey, just another reminder, when you like and when you subscribe, not only do you help the video get out to more people, but you motivate me to want to make random videos. I do feel like I'm supposed to share a message of preparing. And so when you help me out, or when you give me feedback like your goats are cute, and hey, this gave me a great idea. Hey, this motivated me. Hey, by the way, I shared this on this Facebook forum. When you do that, it motivates me to keep going. So thanks, and we'll see you next video.
Not here.